Is tell us something about your years in show business from the early days up to your not retirement but your time off from show business.
Well, from the time I first got paid, I got paid $6 to sing. That was my first professional engagement. Matter of fact, one of the songs on the CD, that's the reason I chose that particular song for the CD, because it was the song that started me out as a vocalist. It was Irving Berlin's great song called Always. And that's what I started. I was 6 years old and had a chance to go up from the farm to Minneapolis, the big city of Minneapolis. And I sang there. I was scared. Oh, my gosh. I sat there waiting, and there was, all of the tables, and they were eating and everything like this. And I had a cloth napkin, and I hadn't realized what I was doing. I was ripping the cloth napkin to pieces. I was so nervous and didn't know it until afterwards. And my cousin Eileen says, you tore up the napkin. I'm sorry, But that was my beginning as a professional singer. And from there on it went. Shortly thereafter, I had a chance to go down to WNAX Yankton, South Dakota. And Eddie Dean, this is Jimmy Dean's uncle, he had a big program down there, and he invited me to come down and be a guest. And I was introduced to radio at that time. And I loved radio, and I loved Mr. Dean and what he was doing, and we had that kind of got me rolling, And from there on in, there was just no stopping. And that's the way it is with people in the world of art. You get the damn bug, and you just can't stop.
Tell us about why you. Tell us about your days with Los Angeles when you're up and coming young buck, and you had some time with Lawrence Welk and Don Adrian Show and all that.
Oh boy. By the time you reach my tender years, you're talking about a hell of a lot of memories. When I left the farm, I had promised my dad that I would get out of show business. Get that out of my head. Dad always said, you got to be normal. So I honestly left the farm thinking that I would become normal. I had a job working on the docks in Washington State, the docks for the berries. And so everything was going fine, and I did my job as a dock worker, etc. And then I went down to Los Angeles from Washington State. And I get down there, and I'm trying to find my way. I first got a place to stay at the YMCA in Pasadena, California. And I wanted a job, and I got a job, I think it was at Bullock's department store. I think that was my first job that I had in California. And yet I just wasn't satisfied. And so I thought, well, when I was 16, I had auditioned for Lawrence Welk when he was at the Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota. And I auditioned for him, and after I did the audition, he says to me, well, young man, if you come to California, you got a job. And so that was 16, but I never even thought about going to California at that time. But now here I was in California, and I thought, I wonder if the old boy really meant it. So I found out where his offices were, down in Santa Monica Boulevard, I think it was. And I went down there, walked into the offices, and the lady said, do you have an appointment? I said, no. At that time, Mr. Welk walked out, and he remembered my name. The man was incredible. He remembered my name, and he says, "You ready to start singing?" Yeah. And I started singing at the Aragon Ballroom, Lick Pier, Santa Monica. And that's where I worked with Mr. Welk. He called me his boy with the champagne voice because I sang love songs as well as, you see, my idol when I really was young. The first time I ever heard someone sing on a, it was actually on a cylinder machine. One of the old cylinder machines, my grandmother. I heard Enrico Caruso sing. And I said, oh, I want to be like that and sing like Mr. Caruso. So my early voice training was all in the area of opera, light opera, and that type of thing. And now here I was singing, crooning love songs. But I still have that hangover with my operatic type of voice, which I don't have anymore because that takes an awful lot of upkeep. But that's kind of where it was with Mr. Welk. And I was with him for as long as I wanted to be. I've always been such an independent cuss. And I got a job with my own show, because at that time my stage name was Don Adrian, and I got my own show, the Don Adrian Show, on KWKW Pasadena, California. And so I left Mr. Welk at that time, and he was just getting involved into the television thing at that time also. So that shows you the time segment, you know. I enjoyed my time with him. Learned a lot from him because he was not easy to work with, but good to work with, and enjoyed it. Went from there, just kept going. That's how your career goes, and you don't stop. Quitter never wins, and a winner never quits.